What's up, everybody? Jeremy Gerard from Mythic Customs here with one of my quick customizing tutorial videos. Today, I actually want to talk about paint matching one very specific character in the Mythic Legions line, the Lord Veteris figure. So if you know anything about this figure, it's got the cool kind of almost like coppery armor. And it's actually the name Lord Veteris is based on a personal friend of mine, Joe Veteris, who I partner with for the Legions Con event. Joe's a great guy, huge supporter of Four Horsemen Studios and Mythic Legions, and kind of to honor him, they created this really cool character that's a member of the Sons of the Red Star. It happens to be my favorite faction. I mean, he's kind of like a cutthroat mercenary type character, really sly, very, very fun little kind of play on Joe because he is such an entrepreneur and everything. And he's so focused on, with his Toy Con shows and everything in Legions Con. So it was kind of a fun character to create. Now, when I first got the Lord Veteris figure, right out of the gate, I did a customization to him. And this is my version of Lord Veteris. Now, the actual figure out of the box comes with two really, really cool heads. It comes with the head that I always refer to like as the Gorgo Aetherblade style head, that full helmet. And then it also comes with the head that's got the removable visor that comes with the Gideon Heavens brand figure. Two very, very cool heads, but there are also two heads that I have on other figures. So immediately I wanted to do something different with this character. And what I did was I used him as a base to create what I call Lord Solomon. So if you know anything from like, 1001 Nights and, some of those kind of mythologies, Lord Solomon was, in control of the different genies and jinn. And I have a whole section of my Mythic Legions customs that are all focused on that type of mythology, genie type characters, jinn and Ifrit and stuff like that. So having Lord Solomon was a character that I thought would be really, really fun as the ruler of that group. So what I did here, this is really just a Mythic Legions Lord Veteris figure with a new head used. And this is actually a head from the Masters of the Universe line. It's the, I believe, Light Hope head. Now, pretty cool head to begin with. I needed to match the colors on this figure, and I think I did so really, really well. And I've done it again and again. I actually have a few examples to show. You can only see things so well when I put them up to the screen. So let me show you a few pieces here, and you can tell me what you think. It'll give you a better look at it. So here's one of them. This is actually a better shot of that Lord Solomon figure. So you can see this is kind of how I display him, where he's on his throne and he's got that genie lamp in front of him. Let me show you a better look at his head here. I've got a shot of just his head that I think will allow you to see that even closer. So you can see that what I painted on that head, the armor around his head, really does match very, very well with the rest of the Lord Veteris figure. Now, I actually did this recently. I just mentioned Legions Con, which is an event that I partner with Joe on. I just did this recently for one of the giveaways for Legions Con. One of the giveaways that we did was a Lord Veteris figure that Joe donated, and I kind of did my little spin on it, and I painted up a hammer, I added an armored collar, and I added this custom head to it to create a different look for the Lord Veteris figure. Once again, wanting to do that bit of a paint match. Let's look at that head a little bit up close, and then I'll show you the actual paints and pieces that I use to get these colors. You're obviously looking at a photograph in hand. The colors on this helmet match the Lord Veteris figure almost perfectly, and it's really not hard to do. So that particular head, this is this one here. This is the Mark III Marine head that was sculpted by Walter DeMarco of Mass Customs and printed by Wolf King Customs. Really, really cool head. And you can see that right here, this is just black. So all I did, step number one, was I based this out in black spray paint. Now, I just use like Krylon flat black, just give it a spray in a well-ventilated area. You're good to go. Once that's done, I do some dry brushing on it. Big surprise. I talk about dry brushing all the time. It's my go-to technique. But what's important is the paint that I use. Now, I oftentimes talk about how much I like Vallejo paints, which are a more expensive brand, but I do say that I like to use the cheaper craft store brands on certain occasions, especially with metallics. Well, the Lord Veteris figure is this coppery metallic color, and the paint that I have found that matches it almost perfectly is this one right here from Craftsmart. So this is a Craftsmart paint, and it is called Dark Copper. I got this at Michael's. This is probably a $2 bottle of paint. Craftsmart Dark Copper. Very, very cool. All I do with this paint is I'll put a little bit in my paint tray here, dip my paintbrush in, and if you've seen me talk about dry brushing before, I dip that paintbrush in, and then just on a paper towel, I just kind of rub that paint largely off. You can see this paper towel that I have here. I've been doing some painting. I've been doing a lot of red and some grays, and these are all just me rubbing off the brush as I do some different dry brushing. That's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to largely rub that off. So when you do start to apply it to the part, or in this case, this part, when you start to apply it, you're putting it on in a very, very controlled fashion. I find that maybe 2-3 different coats, go light. You don't want to glop that paint on. If you want that nice, smooth finish, just dry brush a couple different coats, let it dry, and then come back to it. You will find that by doing that, this particular Dark Copper is an almost identical color to what is used on Lord Veteris. Now, in that figure I just showed, I also did a neck collar, and I actually added some purple highlights into like the eyes here and the rivets around the head. What I wanted to do was get the same metallic purple that you see on other parts of Lord Veteris here. I also used that technique when I did a totally different type of figure that I wanted to pair with Lord Veteris. Let me show you pictures of that. So this was a fun character that I created actually as a gift for Joe. I created this kind of as just a way to thank him for partnering with me. I thought it would be fun. You can see that this uses my kitsune heads, those fox heads that once again I worked with Walter from Mass Customs to sculpt those and Wolf King Customs to print them. It's that wolf head, excuse me, that fox head is one that I've done on a number of different figures, and I did it here in this custom. This actually started life as a Goblin Legion builder. So while the hood is from a Shadow Elf Ranger, and obviously the head insert there is a custom piece, that body was the kind of blackish color, dark charcoaly color of the Goblin Legion builder. And using this technique, using that dark copper that I just showed you, I dry brush that on completely to get this look here. And that particular character looks really, really good standing alongside the normal Lord Veteris. Check it out. That's side by side. You can see those colors match really, really well. It's the exact color that I just showed you. Now, to get that metallic purple, interestingly, I also turned to Michael's, but I didn't use Craftsmart. This is actually another one of their lower cost brands. This is called Deco Art. See if this is going to actually focus, and not so much, but Deco Art Amethyst. So that is the cover here. This is from their Dazzling Metallics line. The color is called Amethyst. Once again, this is also from Michael's, a couple dollars for this particular paint as well. This combination of paints here, Craftsmart Copper, Deco Art Metallics Amethyst. These two colors I have found make wonderful, wonderful matches for the Lord Veteris figure. So if you have a Lord Veteris, and this figure is one that is out there in the market, there was a point where it was a little harder to find. It's been kind of refound again. It's been reissued. Big Bad Toy Store got some of them in not that long ago, I believe. So it's definitely one that more people have access to now. it's a great figure as is, but I know that what some people have done is try to create kind of like little armies for Lord Veteris, like have the Lord Veteris figure as the head and then maybe some bodyguards for him. The Lord Veteris figure has bare arms. If you want to armor up those arms and you've got some armored arms in your fodder bins, you could totally do that. Base it out in black. Use this Craft Smart call that I just mentioned, and you can build yourself an army to back Lord Veteris. Or you can do some of the things that I've just shown, give him some new heads, paint up some other figures to go with him. The sky's the limit. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully you enjoy these type of short tutorial videos that I do. If you do like them, please let me know in the comments, give the video a like, and certainly consider subscribing to the channel. Until then, tag me if you use any of these tips because I can't wait to see what you make.